Imagine waking up one morning, only to find that your most intimate secrets, your financial history, your identity itself are no longer yours. In 2017, this wasn't a nightmare for a few unfortunate souls. It was the chilling reality for nearly half of America. Names, addresses, birth dates, social security numbers, driver's license details, the bedrock of 147 million lives, scooped up in a single, colossal heist. How could this happen? Who could orchestrate such an audacious raid on the very foundations of American identity? This wasn't the work of lone hackers chasing quick cash. This was a surgical strike, precise and relentless, orchestrated by an adversary far more formidable than common criminals. For years, a silent, unseen conflict had been waged in the digital shadows. A new kind of Cold War, where the battles aren't fought with tanks and fighter jets, but with code and keyboards. The prize? Information. The target? The digital fabric of nations. And at the heart of this shadow war, a sophisticated network of state-sponsored operatives, thousands of miles away, so America's financial data not as a means for petty fraud, but as an invaluable strategic asset. Like invisible spies, they sought to gather intelligence, to build vast profiles, to gain an unparalleled advantage over an entire population. They found their opening in a fortress built to protect our deepest secrets. Equifax, one of the world's largest credit reporting agencies, a company entrusted with the personal data of virtually every American adult. Its Achilles heel, a common piece of web application software called struts. A vulnerability in that software was discovered. A patch, a digital shield, was released, but somewhere, someone failed to apply it. A single unpatched surfer, a tiny, almost imperceptible crack in the armor. But for those who knew how to look, it was an open window. And they were looking. With methodical patience, the hackers exploited that unpatched flaw. They slipped past the digital perimeter, like ghosts in the machine. Once inside, they didn't smash and grab. They moved laterally, mapping the network, identifying data repositories, meticulously siphoning information. For months, they operated undetected, a torrent of highly sensitive data flowing out of Equifax servers and across the globe. Gigabytes turned into terabytes, quietly harvested, packaged, and transmitted to unknown destinations. When the breach was finally discovered, months after the initial intrusion not by Equifax itself, but by an internal audit, the scale of the theft was apocalyptic. The fallout was immediate and devastating. Congressional hearings, public outrage, and a wave of fear rippling across the nation. Years later, the chilling truth emerged. 4 officers in the Chinese People's Liberation Army were indicted for the attack. The hackers who stole America's financial data weren't criminals seeking profit. They were soldiers, operating under the explicit direction of a superpower. Your data is still out, sir. And this wasn't just a hack. It was a declaration. A message delivered in code, confirming that the new battleground is already in your pocket.